Hey, Bam here, and I love tech, so let's go ahead and talk tech. Specifically, I wanted to tackle an issue today that has actually been on my mind for a while, on and off, and that is the topic of devices, smartphones, tablets, what have you, in school, specifically K through 12. Yes, it's a big gap, big age range there, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about it real fast. And it seems to be a problem for some reason. I don't fully understand why there's as much of a problem as what it is. And I get the fact that students aren't supposed to be texting or rather on social media, anything like that during class, during an instruction, during whenever the teacher is lecturing and everything like that. I get the distraction part of it, and I understand that there's a certain amount of respect for that, or rather lack of respect for that whenever the teacher's giving a lecture, and you get some students that are texting their friends for plans or something like that for the weekend, or if they're on social media checking out of a video of some sort. I get that, but only to a certain extent. And the extent, where I draw the line at is the idea that they're obviously easily distracted because of the fact that they're not being taught anything of use. And that could be argued, I get that, because, well, this is useful for, down the road, whatever, like that. And yes, some things that school teaches are is useful, but for the majority of it, no. However, getting more onto regular topic that I talk about, being the tech stuff, is the idea that students can actually use said technology devices, smartphones and tablets, to research different topics. And that's where I have the problem is the idea that, it's perfectly fine for a teacher to take a smartphone or a tablet or something like that from a student whenever they're getting distracted. But I don't personally think that it should be. Maybe, have the smartphone suspended from the student for the duration of the class period or whatever like that, if they're actually doing something off topic from what the subject at hand that the teacher is lecturing about is. That's fine. But as far as, if they're using their smartphones or using their tablets or laptops or whatever, if they're using the device for a class assignment, and in a lot of cases, especially K through 12, it's going to be, their devices are typically more reliable than what the computers are, because of the fact that, let's be honest, I would bet anything, most schools don't really keep up to date with their computers. I know that the library in the city that I live, Fort Wayne, they keep on shoving more RAM and recycling out the RAM in their desktop computers, thinking, well, that'll solve the problem. It really doesn't work that way. And because of it, yes, the RAM is good, but that's literally the only thing good about those computers. And so, also the idea that schools are supposed to teach students things that they will need to know in their everyday life. The problem, and my point is that what needs to be known for everyday life is shifting. It's getting to the point now that if people want to know something or they're doing research on a topic, they look it up on a computer because, well, they look it up on the internet, I should say. Whether that be smartphone, tablet, laptop, whatever. They look it up online because of the fact that it's so much more convenient. It's faster, it's cheaper, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it just all falls under the category of being more convenient. So if schools really are teaching kids how to be ready for the adult life, then there's no reason to not let students use their smartphones in class, during class, for the assignment. And so that's pretty much, that's what I feel like should be being done, is that, and it's not. I'm seeing all over the internet how teacher takes away a smartphone from a student, and on top of that, an actual punishment. It's like that the teacher taking the smartphone from the student isn't already punishment enough, because everything is on our smartphones anymore now. Our life is on our smartphones. Which it can be argued that would be a problem. However, for the sake of this topic, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the idea that teachers can get away, basically, with theft. Look at it how you want to. It boils down to teachers and administrators stealing students' smartphones because of the fact that they were using them in class. Period. And a lot of the times I've found it doesn't matter if they're using it for the subject at hand or not. And for the ones that are using them for the subject at hand because of the fact that the computer is down and they're having to come up with something on the fly, it's just, I find it ridiculous. And especially whenever, especially in the day and age that we live in, that most people use those devices to look up information, regardless of if they're with friends, family, at work, or whatever like that. So I'm basically proposing that if schools K through 12 are preparing students for the adult workforce, then that smartphones be used as the tool that they can be, instead of being restricted away from them, whenever really, again, if used properly, it can be the best tool for them to use. So anyway, would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this topic in the comment section, so feel free to leave your agreement or disagreement down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. See ya.